Hello, myself Sunil R Nair, and here basically we are talking about the currencies dependencies. In this, basically we are discussing about the earthquakes. Sorry, in earthquakes, basically the currency topic basically is. And this basically is one of the project manager who is basically telling that basically I am handling in this way basically. I am handling in this way. I am basically handling in this way. So that topic basically is ongoing. In this basically we have discussed that one of the dangerous topic, that is potato and potato planet and tomato planet basically. That is the energy basically which has this two basically planet with this 6 lakh planet basically has attracted to 5 crore planet, and 5 crore planet basically taken the data of this 6 crore planet, and they basically are going to place in 5 crore planet basically the human are going to place after certain time. Assume that basically it can be after 15 days, after 20 days, it might possible after 200 year, after 300 year basically. That depends upon the requirement basically. Assume that after 300 year, or after assume that after 10 days also basically they placed few population there basically, and to create the population universe group basically say that basically it's very easy basically for them basically, yeah? For them basically it's very easy. They created they tracked 5 lakh planet from where the corona basically came, created the city also, 500 people basically placed also, started the energy also. Now basically the data is coming. So like this whole world is created. Few people say like this basically, like this the whole world is created. Like this way only basically might be possible that whole world basically is created. Now that corona city basically is created, he is going to change the city to countries to countries, to countries basically, because one country basically you can't depend on one country corona data, antibiotic data. So there should be multiple data basically. But earth planet is only one. He basically earth planet basically has created अब he है कि नहीं, that basically I don't know earth planet. uh, One person basically told that, do you know basically that girl basically is going, yeah basically I know, that is basically Lucknow. Yes, basically that is basically from Uttar Pradesh basically. That girl basically is Lucknow basically. How basically he is told that? That means basically girls also jumped into this basically. Girls also basically jumped into this. That is different topic basically that we will discuss later on. Here basically we are discussing currencies to currency topic, and in this basically the topic is 5 lakh planet basically which has generated energies of that corona. Here basically corona name basically has given, but the real basically it's a 5 lakh planet basically attracted. Now basically the data is getting passed, multiple copies basically created of that particular city, because you can't depend on one city basically, right? You can't depend on one city. Multiple city created. The process is very fast basically, very fast basically. Because you have to work very fast process basically. Because 24 hours basically is ongoing, and 24 hour basically time basically never stops basically. Time basically never stops. That is the main thing basically. Any second anything basically can happen. Universe group only basically tells that any second anything basically can happen. Anything basically can happen any second. So like this basically he told that, that's why basically everybody have to be ready with the multiple corona city basically. That is the antibiotic basically which is going to be created. So they created multiple cities. They placed multiple cities. Like this basically the whole world got created. Like this basically the whole world got created. Like this one of the person basically software company person basically told that we have the list basically, but the rest of currently basically we have the list of corona basically antibiotic, but we don't have the list of rest of basically land, the rest of basically places here basically, and how basically that are mapped in the planets. This 5 lakh planet basically we are tracked, but the rest of planet, what about the rest of planet? That basically you can get from the old software company basically, like COBOL is there, Pascal is there. Who knows basically the Microsoft is created by the Pascal or basically the COBOL. It might possible that .NET is basically created by the C++ group, or basically or .NET group basically, sorry, by the VC++ group, or by the Pascal group, or by the COBOL group. Who knows basically? So you basically can get data from that group basically. They will 100% share you this data basically. It's not that basically they are not going to share. So like this basically the big company contacted to these people basically. Then they really basically they got the data basically, that from this planet basically this data is coming, from that planet this data is coming, from that city basically multiple copy of city basically got created. Few people says that how to remember. So they creates entire copy of the city only basically. There is no meaning of remember only basically. You can see the same city basically is there. Here also 100 buildings are there. There also 100 buildings are there. Same looking building. So remember things basically are already finished basically there. He basically says that we don't have to remember anything. Same copy things are basically only there basically. Few people says that basically like this basically anybody can track basically. Like this they create something different basically. But they keep the track basically. With the help of certain special energy basically creates in the city basically. Like through that basically they tracks. So that's basically depend upon the city creator basically, how he creates the city, and how basically the satellite groups maps each and every city. One person asked the question here. That was the very dangerous question actually. He asked the question basically, by chance assume that basically the satellite basically lost the control. By chance basically lost the control of each and every cities. So one of the person basically told the alternatives are basically that basically we have already discussed. That is basically the set of phone number with set of numbers basically are with this satellite group. They will call to this particular areas and then they will do certain level of actions. If they calls to that number basically, then it's a first world war only. If they calls this number, then basically the Pakistan and India basically war will start. If they calls to that number, then China India war start. If they calls to that number, then basically the UAE war basically starts. Like this basically they have decided that this number, this number, this number, this number. If they call there, basically the ice tsunami will start. If they call that number, then basically the earthquake will happen. If they call that number, this will happen, that will happen. Like this basically they say that basically, like this basically way they tracks the earth land. By chance assume that they basically called and earth planet was not recognized. Earth planet was not recognized. That time basically what is the things going to happen? What are the things basically going to happen? That we are going to discuss, and how basically that is going to happen. That is also main thing basically. How basically that is going to happen and what are the things going to happen. That we are going to discuss in next video.